So, have you ever wondered why businesses fail? Or are you an investor and you're wondering, should I invest in a company, whether it's the stock market, investing in an IPO, or even thinking about investing in a startup? I have the answer for you. There are 3 reasons why businesses fail. My name is Susan Sly. I am the host of Raw and Real Entrepreneurship. I am a startup founder myself, and I have been in business for 40 years. This channel is designed to give you raw and real information on entrepreneurship. So whether you're thinking of starting a business, you have a business, maybe you have multiple businesses, this channel is all about common sense. And you might be saying, well, common sense, Susan, I know what that is. But just because you do doesn't mean it's common practice for everyone else. So I am so happy you're here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also don't forget to head on over to susansly.com where I have some amazing free resources. So let's jump into it. Why do businesses fail? We hear all kinds of numbers. According to the SBA, the Small Business Association, 50% of businesses fail by year number 5. And I want you to think about it this way. Would you invest in, say, a new car? Maybe you're going to go buy a car for $30,000, knowing that in 5 years, the thing is totally going to die. Of course you wouldn't, but that's what happens with people and money. They're investing their hard-earned money in their own business. Maybe they're getting a business loan, or they're investing their hard-earned money in a business that's already existing, and 50% failure rate, that is pretty risky. So why do businesses fail? Well, the number one reason is cash flow. Over 80% of businesses fail because of poor cash flow. So what that means is there isn't someone paying attention to the needs of the business. So I know from personal experience, I lost a business back in 2000, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've done. I basically got my PhD in stupid. So I was young. I was 27 years old, and I was running a health club with a business partner, and we were also married at the time. And neither of us was really paying attention to cash flow. So things like taxes, business insurance, projections for salaries of the employees, rent, having an emergency fund in case the air conditioning went out, which it did. And you can imagine having a fitness studio where you have 50 people crammed in there doing fitness classes and the AC goes out. Yes. And this was before the trend of hot yoga and hot Pilates and all those things. There was nothing hot about losing the AC. So we didn't really know what we were doing. And in April of that year, I walked into the health club and I went to go teach a fitness class, and it was 6 a.m. And I get there and there is a notice on the door and a padlock. We had been shut down for failure to pay taxes. And you know what? I didn't even see it coming. Like, I was stressed about money. I was also teaching nutrition at our local college. I was seeing clients on the side. I wasn't taking a paycheck out of the business. I knew things were tight, but I didn't have a clue. I didn't know how to read a P&L. I didn't have a cash flow statement. And so, yes, we lost that business. It was very public and embarrassing. It was written about in the newspaper. All of my employees suddenly didn't have a job. I ended up going bankrupt and ended up homeless because of my stupidity. And that was the reason that I started to pursue teaching other people how to be successful. And I said, you know what? I have to become successful myself. So I learned how to read the accounting statements. I learned how to do a projection. Any of the startups that I work with, and I sit on a board of one, I'm also co-founder of one. Every single week, we're looking at the cash flow statement. How much money do we need to bring in? Do we need to shave down some expenses? How much runway do we have? And in the startup world, runway means just like it would, when you're flying on an airplane, how long do you have before that plane has to take off, right? So all of those things are so important. And if you're thinking of starting a business, make sure you understand the accounting. And if you don't, you've got to learn it. And you might say, well, Susan, I have an accountant, I have a bookkeeper. I don't care. I did too, but I didn't know how to read anything they were sending me. So don't put your head in the sand. That is the number one reason your business is going to fail, or a business you're investing in is going to fail. Number two is that there is no one there to sell. You have got to have someone who knows how to sell, who knows how to raise money, who knows how to pitch, is a really good speaker, who knows how to network with people. And that's my zone of genius. I love raising money. I love going out and helping people find value in products and services. I love building sales teams. And in fact, over the course of my career, I have built several award-winning sales teams totaling almost 2 billion US in sales in different verticals. So I love to sell. Now, selling is not a dirty word. It's a necessity in your business. And so I know some of you are like, oh, Susan, I have a really good idea, but I don't like to sell. That's okay. Hire someone who can. And if you're doing a startup, one thing I advise you to do is maybe you can bring in someone and maybe trade a little bit of equity in your company for a performance-based bonus and say, hey, if you bring some investors, if you bring some clients, then we'll put you on a vesting schedule. What that means is as time goes on and they perform, that they can get a little bit of equity in your company. You need that person. And if that person is not you, recognize it right away. You should not be starting a business if you don't know how to sell, or you don't have someone who knows how to sell. I was speaking at a CEO conference and there were some amazing people there. And there was this one guy I met, and he had incredible technology, and he was the CTO of the company. I said, who do you have running your business? Who's the person bringing in the money? Who's the person selling? He's like, I don't have that person. And I said, I want to be really candid with you. It sounds like you have great technology, but you're not going to be successful if you don't have that person. And he goes, where do I find someone like you? And I said, I'm not for hire, but there are other people out there just like me. And that's what we are trained to do. We're hungry for it. We're designed for it. The third reason a business is going to fail is founder ego. So when I'm looking at investing in businesses, I want to know who the founder is. Do they have an ego? What have they learned to fail at? And Sarah Blakely, I love one of the things she says. When she was growing up, every single day after school, her dad would say, Sarah, what did you fail at today? So she was taught that failure is not a problem. Failure is something that allows us to learn. And if a founder hasn't failed, what's going to happen when things start going sideways and backwards? How are they going to deal with it? So it's not just about that they failed, but did they overcome it? So yes, I failed. I lost a business in 2000. Fortunately, there wasn't a lot of collateral damage from that business. I had, taken out some loans. I paid them all back. But some people, they start businesses and they have millions and millions and millions of dollars in investment money from private investors, and those businesses fail, and that hurts a lot of people. So when you have a founder who has an ego, that is a massive problem. And so I'll give you an example. There's a man who is named John Antico. And if I'm pronouncing his last name incorrectly, I apologize, but he was the CEO of Blockbuster when they failed. And one of the things he's known for, despite his previous career, is causing this massive company to fail because he had such an ego. He said people aren't going to want to watch movies digitally. They're still going to want to go into a Blockbuster. They're still going to want the popcorn. He had a massive ego. And I see businesses all the time where a founder refuses to be able to acknowledge that maybe their industry is changing, or that they don't have all the answers, or they start to micromanage people. And when any of those things occur, that is a big problem, especially if that founder has a lot of controlling stake in that business. And so I want you to really think about that from the vantage point of being a person who's starting a business. Maybe you're thinking about partnership. If you haven't seen my video on partners, I want you to watch that video, because partnerships have the highest failure rate. You have to go into that being very, very clear. And If you're thinking about starting a business this year, really think about what is it I need to understand before I do this business. Having a great product or a great service, lots of people do, my friend. You know, there are so many people out there that had great products and great services, but those businesses failed for one of those three reasons that I just mentioned. So with that, don't forget to head over to susansly.com. I've got amazing free resources. I would love to help you succeed. Drop a comment below with this video. I'd love to find out what you're getting from this. Maybe there's an idea you have or a question. And you can also go to susansly.com, ask a question. I'd love to make a video for you. If this is helpful, please go ahead and share. So with that, God bless, go rock your day, and I will see you next time.